You're afraid of the wrong things, the difficult conversation, being seen, being judged, failing in front of everyone who ever doubted you. Those aren't what's destroying you. It's the fear itself. And a monk from the 1890s knew exactly how to kill it. His name was Swami Vivekananda, and his message cuts through every self-help cliche, every shallow affirmation, every comfortable lie you've been told about managing your fear. He didn't teach management. He taught annihilation. Because here's what he understood. Fear is not a weakness you were born with. It's an illusion you learned, a forgetting, a veil that hides the infinite power already alive inside you. Today, we simply invite ourselves to rest in this contemplation and recognize the fearless heart that has been here all along, buried beneath years of conditioning. This teaching offers a quiet space to understand how fear dissolves when you remember who you truly are. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel it. That weight in your chest when you think about the life you're not living, the words you're not saying, the person you're hiding because the world might not approve. That weight has a name, fear, and it's been your master for so long, you've mistaken it for wisdom. But Vivekananda stood before crowds in America and Europe with a teaching so radical, it still trembles through time. The whole secret of existence is to have no fear. Never fear what will become of you. Depend on no one. Only the moment you reject all help are you freed. Read that again. The secret of existence is to have no fear, not less fear, not managed fear. No fear. Impossible? Only if you believe you are what you think you are. Here's the truth that changes everything. You are not this body. You are not this collection of thoughts, memories, wounds, and stories. When you identify as this limited form, moving through a hostile world, fear is inevitable because forms break, bodies fail, circumstances change. And if you believe you are those things, then every threat to them becomes a threat to your existence. But you are not those things. Think about the ocean. On the surface, waves rise and fall, storms rage, ships sink. But dive deeper. Beneath the turbulence is perfect stillness. The ocean doesn't fear the storm because it knows itself as the entire depth, not just the wave. You are that depth, but you've been living on the surface, identifying with the wave, this personality, this fragile story, and you've forgotten the ocean beneath. So you tremble. You seek safety in things that cannot provide it. Approval, control, certainty, perfection. You become dependent. And dependence, Vivekananda says with brutal clarity, is misery. Independence is happiness. Not the independence of isolation, but the independence of self-knowledge, the recognition that nothing outside you can give you what you already are. Look at your life right now. Where are you waiting for permission? For someone to tell you you're ready, you're worthy, you're allowed? That waiting is the cage, and you're holding the key. Vivekananda didn't teach this as philosophy. He lived it, orphaned young, watching his beloved teacher, Ramakrishna, die, facing poverty and doubt. The world gave him every reason to be afraid. But he chose differently. He chose to trust the power beneath the surface, and that trust transformed him into a force that awakened millions. He left us this command: arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is reached. This isn't motivation. It's a declaration of war against everything false in you. Arise from the sleep of false identity. Awake to your true nature. And don't stop. Don't compromise. Don't settle. Don't turn back until you touch that place of unshakable freedom. But how? Let me show you something right now. Sit with your spine straight. Close your eyes. Bring to mind something you're genuinely afraid of. Maybe it's a conversation you've been avoiding for months. Maybe it's a dream you're too scared to speak aloud. Maybe it's the terror that you are fundamentally inadequate. Let it be present. Don't push it away. Now, notice where this fear lives in your body. Tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach, tension in your throat. Just notice. Don't judge. Don't fix. And now, beneath that sensation, can you feel something else? A presence, a stillness, a quiet awareness, watching the fear without being caught in it. That awareness is you, not the fear, not the story about the fear, the awareness itself. Rest there for 30 seconds. The ocean, not the wave. When you open your eyes, the circumstance hasn't changed, but something else has shifted. You've touched, even for a moment, the place fear cannot reach. And once you know that place exists, you can return to it again and again. This is the practice, not once, but daily. Every morning, before the world rushes in, you sit, you close your eyes, you strip away the layers, the roles, the opinions, the judgments, and you rest in simple knowing. I am, not I am this, or I am that. Just I am. And from that place, courage arises, not as something you manufacture, but as the natural expression of wholeness. When you're not defending a fragile ego, when you're not protecting a false identity, what is there to fear? Let me give you an example from your actual life. Tomorrow morning, your alarm goes off. You have a presentation at work, or a difficult call with a family member, or a creative project you've been avoiding. The old pattern kicks in immediately. Your chest tightens, your mind floods with worst-case scenarios. You reach for your phone to numb the anxiety. You spend the entire morning in low-grade terror, imagining everything that could go wrong. Now, same morning, different response. Alarm goes off. You sit for 5 minutes, eyes closed. You feel the fear, but you don't become it. You rest in the awareness beneath. You say internally, I am not this anxiety. I am the space that holds it. Then you stand up, and you do the hard thing anyway. Not because the fear is gone, but because you've stopped believing fear's story, that you'll be destroyed by honesty, by visibility, by trying. Same circumstance, completely different life. This is what Vivekananda means by Abhaya, fearlessness. It's not the absence of fear as a feeling. It's the refusal to let fear dictate your actions. It's the commitment to truth and integrity, even when your hands shake. Because here's what he saw. Cowardice is violence against your own soul. Every time you silence your voice, because you're afraid of judgment, you betray yourself. Every time you settle for less, because you don't believe you deserve more, you reinforce the lie of your smallness. Those betrayals accumulate. They become the prison you live in. But courage, integrity, these don't just set you free. They make you unshakable. Look at the people you most admire, the ones who speak uncomfortable truths, the ones who love without reservation, the ones who create beauty in the face of chaos. What do they have that you don't? Nothing. They've simply chosen, over and over, to act from strength rather than fear. And that choice has carved them into something luminous. You have that same choice right now. What would you do today if you knew, truly knew, that you are backed by infinite power? Would you send that message, have that conversation, take that risk, stand up for what you believe in? The world doesn't need more people playing it safe. It needs your medicine, your unique expression, your fierce and tender heart fully unleashed. But that can only happen when you stop waiting for permission and start claiming the power that is your birthright. Vivekananda's message is urgent. You are wasting your life in fear, not because life is short, though it is, but because every moment you spend identified with limitation is a moment you're not expressing your true nature. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop needing the world to be different, to feel safe, the moment you root yourself in the unshakable ground of who you really are, you become far more effective. Love flows freely. Action becomes clear. Service happens naturally because you're no longer protecting a false self. You're acting from wholeness. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about removing everything you are not. The fears, the doubts, the stories. And what remains? Pure strength, infinite love, boundless courage. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Choose one fear to meet today. Not overcome, not conquer, just meet, face to face, eye to eye, with the knowing that you are not the trembling wave, but the entire ocean. What's one thing you've been too afraid to do? Name it right now in the comments. Say it out loud. That's the first act of courage, naming what has power over you. Start there. One conversation, one action, one moment of choosing truth over safety. And watch what happens. Not in the external results, though those will come, but in the internal shift. The growing sense that you are capable of so much more than you believed. Vivekananda traveled the world not to convert, but to remind, to shake people out of comfortable sleep, to shout, with love, wake up, you are infinite. Stop crawling when you were born to soar. This is his gift to you, not a teaching to believe, but a reality to embody. Feel your feet on the ground, your heart beating, this breath moving in and out. Right here, in this ordinary moment, you have access to the same power that creates galaxies, that moves rivers, that breathes life into all beings. It's not somewhere else. It's not in the future. It's here, now, in you. All that's required is the courage to stop running, stop hiding, stop pretending to be small, to stand in the fullness of who you are, and let that be enough. The world is waiting for your fearless heart, not the heart that never feels afraid, but the heart that feels the fear and acts anyway, the heart that knows its own divine nature and refuses to settle for less. Can you feel it stirring? That ancient courage waking up? Good. That's not weakness. That's remembering. If this touched something true in you, sit with it. Return to the silence where courage lives. And maybe, between breaths, you'll hear Vivekananda's voice across time, still calling you home. If these contemplations resonate with you, join us here. We gather weekly to explore the teachings of the great masters, not as distant philosophy, but as lived wisdom for this moment. Subscribe, and let's continue walking this path together, from fear to freedom, from sleep to awakening, until we meet again in the stillness. Keep waking up.